Oh. G'day and welcome. The first thing I want to do with this video is apologise to Patreon supporters because I can't get into my account. I'm getting notifications through Gmail, but I can't get in there. I've tried on several different computers and used several different browsers as well. So I don't really know what the story with posting stuff on Patreon is at the moment, but I just can't get in. I don't know if it's my network or if it's their end. Got no idea. So we're also in a bit of a pickle with this stage 4 lockdowns coming in Victoria within the next couple of days. So it means that parts are going to be difficult to get because it's a non-essential thing. So we can just do what we've got here, sort of thing. I suppose people doing cooking shows, I mean, they can still, you're still allowed to go to the shops to buy food, and you know, your other vloggers and that sort of thing will be fine. But guys like us that are doing, you know, projects that require spare parts, we're kind of dead in the water. And I'm a bit loath to order online a lot of stuff because the post will probably go out too. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going to happen. So uncertain times. I got this GoPro ages and ages ago. I got it when I got the 750, I think, or soon after. It's a Hero 5, and it was $500 when I bought it. And I sort of had the idea of riding a motorbike around with it on, or sticking it on the motorbike and that sort of thing. Never used it. My daughter did. She had it on that head thing when she went horse riding once, but I'm going to turn it on now and I'll show you what I've been doing. That's the normal studio wear that I use. Been looking at these bikes. I've got a text. I get a text. Right. So, yes, we're having all sorts of trouble with this. I tell you what, I can get all the cars in here, all the cars I own, all run well and started very, very quickly after I rebuilt them, or of the engines I rebuilt, because I set them up that way. You sort of got to do that with flat-tapped engines. I've got to do something with this XC as well. It's all bloody dusty and dirty and horrible. Anything with a flat... Oh, God, look at that. It's all got this green overspray from the Starley all over the place. It's just dust. Look at it. When you build a flat-tapped engine, you've got to make them so they start straight away. For breaking a camshaft in, but this little guy here, this little guy's been shocking. Hoping the door will get some light in. I've spent a good deal of today just pruning trees and all that sort of stuff. That oil down there in the ice cream container, that is from the crankcase. I pulled the crankcase drains. I've got it timed. Oh dear me. And I've got a stick in there to measure the height before top dead center. My dial indicator can't get in there and I can't hang on to that, so I've just been using a stick and measuring it. I've got the timing spot on. We're getting fuel in there. We're getting a spark. One of the problems I had was one of the coils wasn't getting hot or wasn't getting warm, and I lost spark on one side, but I've got it back now. I took it out and there's a bit of footage on that I'll show you in a moment. We've got a little battery in here, that's all good to go. So we've got fuel, we've got air, and I know we've got air because I'm still vertical, and we've got spark, and this bloody thing won't go, and I don't know why. So I'm going to muck around with it a bit and see if I can get some joy out of it. It's frustrating, but we've got to get to the bottom of this. It's ridiculous, it's been going on too long. I expected about a cup of muck to come out of the crankcases, but I did get that bit out. As I showed you before. Well, sniffing around for a project, I thought we might get into this bike here. That's the 250. Wanted to do this one. You can see all remnants of power steering stuff for Starleys on the ground. I need the cylinder block board for this before I can start putting it together. You can see how dusty they are, where my finger's been, that sort of thing. This is no different. I'm going to move my tripod and see what we're up to. To be honest, I've really forgotten where I was at. I know some of the problems I've had have been around the Kickstarter spring being broken. So good look at that. I've got this engine here, ready to take the bottom off. This clutch cover is in much better condition than the one that's on. And if you remember, we changed the engines because the other one's broken up here. And I swapped the cylinders over because this one had, the spare one had these broken fins all over it. So I've used the fins, or the top end from the original motor and the bottom end from this other one, but I couldn't get it going. Predominantly I think because I got the leads the wrong way. It's all dirty and dusty, but that's alright. I don't care. We can clean it. I think for the moment though, I might just get some of this junk around it away and we'll have a better look. Right, so the last time I posted a video on this was December 30, I think, last year. I bought this bike as semi-restored in bits. So it had, the paint on the tank was done. I did the the oil tank. The oil looks like it's found its way through the tubes over time. It's just been sitting there. So that should work. I'm sort of loath to disconnect any of that, but I'm going to have to if I pull the engine out. This, I want to change the clutch cover, but I also need to take the engine out to take the case off the bottom. Now, there's no oil in it, I drained it, but I still need to try and start it before I pull it apart, just to make sure. It'll tell me, I should say, whether I'm rebuilding the whole engine or just changing the spring. I just want to change the spring, I don't want to rebuild anything on it. So I think the first thing we'll do is we'll pop the coils off. It was a stupid mistake. That's the plug for the coils, I think, and I've taped them all up, but that should be around the front or around the back. I don't know, it shouldn't be hanging down like that. It's I remember thinking it was quite curious anyway, the way it was, but you know, that's the oil pump. It's all doing what it's supposed to do. We've got the brake connected, but it's not adjusted yet. We've got the clutch. From memory, all this switch gear works well. We cleaned all that out. Well, there's nothing on this side. Throttle's working. That's some non-genuine cheapy instrumentation off eBay. Harvey has restored the original ones off the bike. I should use a chamois to get that off. I think the indicators were working. I can't remember offhand. This is a wheel off a GT 250. It could even be off a 380, I'm not sure. And we did the forks up. I think I put the fork seals in. These should have a twin leading shoe drum, which I would much prefer, but someone's put the hydraulic on, so that's fine. I think they've changed out the headstock as well for the later one, but you know, that's all right. I'm not too fussed with it. So you know, it's a bit of a bummer. We have to pull it all apart again. But I think for the moment, the one thing I couldn't find, I've just noticed, was the bracket for the switch for the brake light. That's the wires for it. And there should be another one off the front lever, which is none yet, but I think that's on the master cylinder. So I think, look, the most sensible thing would be, I've got to take the seat off, take the tank off, have another look at that coil to make sure it's the right way around. I don't think it is. And we might just bang some oil in and try and start it. The indicator light's in the way. I never really got the positioning of the rear wiring sorted out either. There's nothing under there to bring the wiring through, I don't think. But we've also got an oil leak, and that looks like two-stroke oil. It doesn't look like gearbox oil. So the engine's probably bloody full of it. We made a new milled nut for it. And there's another one up the front. But yeah, I've got, this one's facing back and the loom's there. So I sort of taped loom where I knew it would go. But this should be the other way around. I just want to hear the thing's voice, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where it's going to tell me a lot about what happens when I take the engine out. What I'm hoping is I can just take the bottom of it, change that spring out, and life's good. But I don't want to just have to go into a whole, rebuild again. Because I've got two bikes where I'm doing that, and frankly I don't want to do it with this one, because this was supposed to be a quick, cheap job. And so far, it has been, but we're not out of the woods, you see. Are we sure that goes that way? It just doesn't feel nearly as natural. Zippo again. Right, so what we've got here, we've got continuity. The coils are earthed through the orange wires. So you got red on one side, black on one side and white on the other. This thing was about face. The coil should have been mounted like that, but these ones have always been mounted like that. If I put it this way, they won't reach, and it's very, very tight and stiff and all this sort of stuff because they're old. So they've been mounted the wrong way for a long time. If we've got a meter, we can check the integrity of the windings by just going either side. So one side of the coil running to the other. They're dirty, but you get the picture. So they all test alright. The issue I've got is that the right one's warm and the other one's cold, and we're not getting spark out of the other one. So the HT is sort of earthed through the bike, and they look a little bit dirty. I didn't take this side off because it means moving these leads around too much, and they're a little bit old, and you know how it goes. So I'll clean those earths up, but I can't see that they're going to make any difference because the winding's not getting warm inside. The points are opening and closing exactly when they're supposed to. So it's getting power, or it's earthing out through there and it's getting power up through here. I don't think this is going to do a damn thing. Oh, I'm dropping stuff. I've cleaned these up. So it's a good earth. Contact spray. I'm just going to, whoops, put that back in. There was rust and corrosion and all sorts of guff in there, but I don't know that this is going to do anything. But it is important that the this side of the HT side earths out. So time will tell. I can't get under those ones, which is less than satisfactory. I'm just going to just test the earth integrity of both of them. Maybe cut some fresh ends on. That should be, yeah, there's a bit of copper in there. Don't want to cut too much off. Bad through a battery. But I need to get this going to find out exactly what I need to do with it. So, hang on, let me get an alligator clip. I really do have to buy some equipment because I'm low on the right tools. I'll earth it onto the engine down there. Just make sure we've got some continuity. Yes, we do. DC volts. What do we got here? 12 volts. 12 volts. What the freaking hell? So they're both powering, and there's nothing sporadic about that connection. It's all alright. So we're getting power up here. We're getting power, and it's switching through the points. One of them's cold, one of them's hot. So let's have another look at the points. Well, I don't have much of a way of doing this with the camera in the right position. I don't know how guys do that because my head's massive and he's going to get in the way. Oh my god. Oh. So I was worried that the rotor is different. It's off the other engine. And I'm just looking in here. I'll use a ring spanner. And the engine goes this way, counterclockwise. Whoops. That's marginally off. The screws on this are absolutely munted, but I'm just going to use an impact driver just to loosen them. That's all we need to do, just a tap. And then hopefully I can do something about this goddamn thing and get it working, because everything is showing up as okay. And I've lost my screwdriver. Where's the other screwdriver? Oh, it's in my hand. That was clever. Okay. So if I use the advanced plate there, because I know the gap's alright. Let's say I just nip that up a bit. And you've got to do it to both. And this is, when you look at these, could probably even go back a bit. When you look at these, you've got your right points, your left points, right cylinder, left cylinder. It's pretty easy. Well, I think it's easy, it's just not really behaving itself at the moment. Try that. That is spot on. Right. So I've done this, and I'm looking. I'll just turn on the Richard Graham headgear. Oh God, that's too bright. I don't know if you can see that, the line there. Let me, now I'm silhouetting my head. Oopsie, can you see? I reckon that's right there. And if you look at that stick, it's got a fire 1/8 of an inch before. So there. I don't know if that's an 1/8. It looks a bit more than an 1/8 actually, but it doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. Hopefully being the operative word. So let's go down here, go 180 degrees out, and this side should shut up. That's spot on there. Okay, why is it shorting sometimes? So it went off that time. Something's shorting. That would explain a few things. Let's juice it up, as in electricity juice it up, and see if we can make any more sense out of the thing. The thing with this, I'm just going to check the points are clean. I'm getting a sporadic spark up there. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a moment. I'm just using a bit of, I think it's 240 or something. And do the same down here. But I thought that rotor behind there, that thing there, because it's different from the other one, if you know what I mean, this stator plate and coils are up a different model engine, which could have something to do with it, but the spark seems to be happening at the right time regardless. So, I mean, it can't be too hard, you know, I mean, it's got the friggin' technology of a chainsaw. Why is it so difficult? I don't know. They're probably just really susceptible to variances in timing or whatever. Hang on, get in there, you. Get the muck off to give good continuity, which I think it had anyway. Right, connects the battery. So we've got the plugs both there. And well, that one's not too bad. But this one here, not a sausage. Might use my spiffy new overhead light. Now these are a pain because sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. I'm just going to nip that up a bit to simulate it being in the bike. And sporadic problems with points aren't unusual. I'm just hoping it's in the points and it's not in the... hang on a minute. And it's not in the... what do you call it? The wiring. That's going to be a pain. And I'm tipping they're going to work fine here. I'll move them around a bit. I can't see a thing wrong with those. I'll pull them apart anyway, because I've seen this before. I'll just make sure the insulator in here is intact. Should really put new ones in, but you and I both know I'm not going to do that. That's fine. There's a little plastic sleeve there. There's another one on the spring. And there's a washer. Can I pull these off? When they decide to muck up, that's exactly what they're going to do. Sorry? They're not brilliant, but they're not that bad either. Let's have a look.
You don't understand the words come here.
Oh, sorry. I'm just giving her a bit of a file. We had something on a Yamaha, I think Scott was doing while I was overseas, and it was some rust that was causing some grief. I can't remember the finer details of it, but that has to go in this little plastic insulator there. So that will go through the backlight one and insulate it accordingly. Well, if these are working properly and that insulator is in good condition, then we have a problem elsewhere, which isn't a big deal. We can fix it. I've got the continuity tester on the wire, so I'm just going to, try and wobble a bit of stuff around up on the top of the loom as well. Doesn't seem to be. Oh yeah, that's only when I touch that, but it is isolated from there. I just thought maybe condenser was arcing out or something, but that's just capacitor, so that should be alright. So I'll put it back together. I've had a bit of a win so far. I've got sparks going both times. I'm just going to talk because my wife's got the radio on and I don't want to get done for copyright, but you probably can't see them that well with this, but I can, so they can go back in. That's all good. It yet. Let's see if there's any juice getting in. There's not a kill switch, has it? No. Oh! Perfect. That's what we want to see. So, I'll put some gear oil in it now. Got some smoke, but that'll be from, let's shut the garage door. That'll be from all the residual inside the exhaust and also in the engine crankcase. But I'm a bit worried about that oil down there. I want to see oil. It doesn't matter so much about the outer ones because they're lubricated from the premix I've got in there, but that center one worries me a little bit. I'm not seeing any action there, so I might not be able to run it for too long. And my poor wife is up there being very patient with me. She's turned her radio off. Is that going? I can't see. Where's the center one? We've got 1, 2, there's 4 of them. That might be going. Hang on, we'll kick it again. just because I want to hear it, right? Lots of smoke. That could be crank seals, I'm not sure. See that? Oh, it's moving a bit. Yeah, the oil pump's going. That taco doesn't work. Harvey's got my right one. Sorry about the smoke. So when you give it a good rev, we get a fair bit of smoke, but that looks all right there. It's just when you give it a good rev, we get a lot out. But that could be, you know, I mean, the exhaust is really heating up now. I'm just, see those air bubbles in there? Need to look into that. So I think I'm going to kill it for now, just to make sure we're getting oil. But that's a pretty good result. Headed on me for the bloody oil. I'm just a bit worried about that. So, as I said, you know, it doesn't matter on the outer ones because I'm using premix, but that center bearing won't get lubricated if it's not being fed. So we need to look into that. But look, I'm fairly happy with that. It's the first time I've heard its voice. And yeah, it's going to be a good one. Check this out. There's a police tape on it. I wonder if it's been stolen. Oh look, airbags. Oh, both airbags are gone. I died on the seat. That would have scared the crap out of them, those airbags coming out. Poor kid. It's a green P plate. Whether it was their car or it was stolen, I don't know. It's got police tape, so there's something dodgy about it. That's hit hard. But I don't know what it hit. Doesn't hit any of those trees. There's the bumper and the inner guard over there. I wonder what it hit. God, that thing's knackered. It's hit something hard. Looks like it's hit a wall. It's pretty straight along there. Like, yeah, I'm glad the crash is straight. Oh well, time to go. What do you reckon? Shit.